Hello and welcome to my review of Goat, starring Vera Farmiga, I think that's how you pronounce it, Justin Kirk, David Duchovny, I don't know how to pronounce his name, David Duchovny, I think it is, and Graham Phillips. First of all, I just want to apologize for me messing up with all those names. Just want to apologize. But let me get into the plot of Ghost. Now, this is based off a novel, which I have not read. I don't know anything about the novel, if it's good or not. So, if you're fans of the novel, tell me if the novel is good, because this film is not. Okay, but I did get into the plot of Ghost. The plot of Ghost is pretty much about this guy, this boy, Graham Phillips, and he goes out to this prep school, where he doesn't really, he doesn't know his father really well, and his mother's a hippie, and he goes on a ton of goat trips with Goat Man, played by David Duchovny. I'm gonna just call him Goat Man. But yeah, so that's our premise, and he goes back to meet with his father, and they keep coming back and forth between parents. Riveting, isn't it? Let me get into the acting in the film. Most of the acting is pretty solid. I like Ty Burrell from Arrested Development. At least I think that's him. I do believe that's him. I like Ty Burrell. I've seen him in a few things. But yeah, he was good. Everyone was pretty decent except Graham Phillips. Graham Phillips, you see, he wasn't trying. Not at all. Everyone else was at least trying, but their characters were written really badly. I'll get into that when I get into the writing. But, he wasn't trying, and I got really mad, especially from all the great actors that are kids and teenagers we've seen so far this year. The kid from Moonrise Kingdom, the Hush Puppy from Beasts of the Southern Wild. So, it was a little bit of a letdown. Not that big of a flaw, but we'll get into those. So let me get into the pacing. This movie is such a bore. It is so boring, and it's only an hour and 37 minutes. That is not that long. You should be able to keep my attention for that long, and I don't have a short attention span. That's the thing. You should be able to keep my attention, but no, they don't. It's such a bore. The pacing is awful. Let me get into the direction. It's a first-time director, so I'll kind of give a pass on the direction. It wasn't very good, but he hasn't perfected his craft yet, so I'm gonna give him a pass on that. Let me get into the writing, where a lot of this film suffers. There are like 18 different subplots that they never go anywhere. Man. This movie sucks. So, too many things happen at one time. I mean, really. Haven't you ever learned to stick on one thing? Be focused on something. I digress. The characters. These characters' emotions go from 1 to 60 in a second. Like, his roommate, okay? So, Graham Phillips' roommate. At one part, he's like, oh yeah, we're just good friends and everything. And then he's like, you're not my boss, get out of here, idiot. And then he goes back to being nice again, then that again, and it just keeps bouncing back and forth. The mother, all she does, the character was written just to complain. Goatman's fine, but even he's a jerk face. Really, the most likable character in this film was a baby goat. That is when you know you have a problem, okay? That is when you know when you have a problem. And it was written by the same guy who wrote the novel, so is this really what the novel's like? Again, if you read the novel, tell me below if it's good, and if you've seen the movie, if you like the movie compared to the novel, because obviously it wouldn't ruin his own novel, but then again, I did like Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, and that was written by the guy who wrote the novel. This film sucks. Really, really bad. Not to mention, I forgot to mention this, I just thought of it, is that it is, it could be a clever idea. I mean, a kid, who he hangs out with a guy who herds goats, and then he has to go to a different part. It could be clever. But no, they just it's like this. This is what he went to a class, to the Vexel, and the Riddle maybe, I don't know if it matches up to the book, but they went to a class where they were like, okay, you ever have a creative idea? Don't you just take those. Let's take all the creative stuff out of it and make it bland. Let's just pick stuff from other movies and writing, and there's your movie. Let's title it Goats, and let's release it in 2012. This film really sucks. Definitely not the worst of the summer. I did get some enjoyment out of it at times, but I just, no. I liked it better than The Watch and LOL, but, and ATM, but I liked it better than a lot of other Suckfest movies, but I will still give it a Suckfest. Suck. Tell me what you thought of Goats in the comments below, and if you read the book, tell me if the movie, is like the book. I want to know. If you can tell me, that'd be great. Please like, favorite, and subscribe.